some of these Thursday night games may induce nausea, but tonight's in that category.
Yeah.
There are some coming that will, though. There are some coming. Bears-Panthers is coming, baby. But for now, it's Jaguars at Saints. Neither team has a losing record, which is a positive. The Jaguars at 4-2, first place in the AFC South. The Saints in that cluster of teams trying to win the NFC South. Technically, the Bucs are in first place because they're 3-2. Saints, Falcons 3-3. Panthers bringing up the rear at 0-6. And the big question for tonight, and we were talking about this before the show, and I addressed this yesterday on PFTPM. There's been a lot of quarterback injuries this year. There's been a lot. Like half the league at some point or another has had an injury issue with its starting quarterback, whether it's a current question mark, whether it's past games missed, past games where the guy clearly wasn't right. And we have it tonight with Trevor Lawrence. Knee injury. Questionable. This goes back to Sunday. Got it injured late in the home game against the Colts. He was walking funny coming through the tunnel. Devin McCourty and I both noticed that we had footage of him coming in from the States. Like, hey, he's got a little hitch in the giddy up there. Something's not right. And it's the knee. And short week, this is one of the realities, short week. Maybe by Sunday he'd have been fine. By Thursday, who knows? Who knows if it's going to be him or CJBethard. But that really, Chris, is the big question going into this one. And Derek Carr still has lingering injury. Shoulder and chest shows up on the injury report. I think he was limited in practice, maybe on the day, Monday, when they really don't practice, but they list the injuries that would have limited them in practice if they had. So both quarterbacks with that injury issue. Carr, no question about him playing. Trevor Lawrence, we'll find out 90 minutes before kickoff whether or not we're going to see him.
Yeah, that's a big deal. Of course, it adds to the intrigue of the game. I mean, it adds into the intrigue of the game if he plays. You want to see Trevor Lawrence play. I mean, he's on a trajectory right now and been playing some football where he's one of the best in the sport. Certainly one of the top 10 quarterbacks in the game. I don't think you could, disagree with that no matter who you are there. And then, there's a lot of beat up people in this football game. But the thing that's big with this one, hey, the Saints, of course, not playing their best football. They need to win the football game. The Jaguars, you see the list here of all the guys on the Jaguars and the Saints that are beat up in this game. But the Jaguars, to me, Mike, and I think you've heard me say this a little bit. I said this on Football Night in America last week. They're one of these teams right now on the short list where I go, they're not just a playoff contender, they're a Super Bowl contender. I think they're that good. Early season, kind of getting their footing underneath them. The last few weeks here, it's got going in the right direction. Dominating the Bills in London last week, dominating the Colts in Jacksonville, right? You look at their roster and the talent they have, you go, yeah, there's not really many weak spots across the board, right? So they're an impressive football team. We saw them go toe-to-toe with the Chiefs. We talked about that before. So that's where you want them to play. You want to see this team continue to kind of gain that momentum. And, of course, we want to see one of the best players in the game throw the ball around a little bit.
Here's Trevor Lawrence from earlier this week talking about the challenge of playing through the knee injury that he suffered on Sunday.
I haven't missed a game in my career. Obviously I'm only in my third year, but I take a lot of pride in that and being available and being there and being able to play and compete every week. I think that's something that I take a lot of pride in.
Is there some sort of badge of honor that comes with quarterbacks showing toughness at times when they can?
Of course. This game is about toughness, and it's about at times playing through injuries. I think there's but it's also, you got to be smart and the position that we're in, and because there's guys every week that have injuries and might sit out, might not play, and they're looking for the long haul of not just for themselves but also for the team, because you want your guys to be healthy in crunch time of the season down the stretch.
Sounds like the balance he's trying to strike there as he processes this, wants to be available to his team, but he doesn't want it to get any worse where later in the year there might be an issue with a longer absence. He was limited in practice on Tuesday and Wednesday, did not practice on Monday, but the Jaguars didn't practice on Monday. But if they had practiced, he wouldn't have practiced, yada, yada, yada. I don't know why they even do that. Nobody that plays on Sunday and then plays on Thursday practices on Monday. Just doesn't happen. I don't know why they put the report out there other than just to disclose to the world what the injuries are coming out of Sunday. And that's how we were certain that the knee was enough to mention limited Tuesday, limited Wednesday, and they don't practice all that intensely, but he still wasn't able to fully participate in whatever limited practice there was. So it is a question as to whether or not he's going to go tonight. And if it's not him, it's veteran backup CJBethard, who got started with the 49ers, has been in Jacksonville for a couple of years, and backup quarterbacks got to be ready to go. Backup quarterbacks throughout the league got to be ready to go at a moment's notice. At least Beathard will have a chance to prepare if he's going tonight, Chris.
Yeah, I would think he got a lot of reps this week, got a lot of talking to in the meetings, right? As if he was the starting quarterback. That's kind of the way you got to prepare in these moments. He's the guy that you got to kind of bring up to speed and make sure he's comfortable here. You're confident that Trevor, who's been playing and played in 6 games already, he'll be able to keep pace, why he rehabs, does all that. If he can't do the walkthrough or the jog through, hey, he's standing on the side there, getting mental reps. That's what Trevor Lawrence, I would think, was doing throughout the week, trying to limit the activity on that knee. Beathard's played before. He has experience, and he's a smart quarterback. He's certainly not going to be like deer in the headlights here tonight. Are they going to be the same team they are without Trevor Lawrence? No. They're not. Of course they're not. Trevor Lawrence is a special talent. But Beathard, can he orchestrate and move, a drive and move the offense and do stuff like that? Of course he can. And the other thing, too, that, you just can't forget is he's got people around him here. Jacksonville, the one thing – that you come back to is balance. They can do it all, really. They can kind of play through their defense if they want. They can, this is a run game. Here's Travis Etienne. We'll run the ball and be effective that way. And of course the pass game is effective too with Trevor Lawrence and company. But CJBethard doesn't need to think he needs to do more than, what's asked for tonight. That's for sure. He does have a good football team around him. We'll see where it goes. I hope we don't see him. I hope we don't. It's unfortunate. Like, we talked about Trevor. I kind of saw the play at the end of the game, and leg looked like he just got twisted as he was going down by the defender tackling him. You could kind of see the guy hold him, and now he turns it outside, right? And it makes his knee put in a bad spot. You watch that left leg here. Now the guy's grabbed him. He's rolling. And of course,
Gator roll.
He gator rolled. And of course, Trevor Lawrence wasn't rolling with him. So I'm sure that is sore. I certainly understand that. So we'll see maybe if they put the knee brace on him, do something like that. He definitely won't be as mobile. But I would think an 85 to 90% Trevor Lawrence that can't do further damage to his knee. I think he plays. I think Trevor's an old school guy, being around him a few times. I think he will. If it's worse than that, then I think that's where the team and Trevor will back off and we'll see CJBethard.
I remember once the quarterback goes outside of the pocket, the protection against the hit at or below the knee goes away. You can hit him low. You can grab the leg and gator roll. There's nothing dirty about that. The gator roll has yet to be eliminated from the NFL rulebook. Not that it won't be someday, but for now, it's fine. But it did create that injury. Earlier this week, Jaguars offensive coordinator Press Taylor expressed confidence in the prospect of having to go with QB2 CJBethard. Here's what Taylor had to say.
Confidence is very high that we can go out and run our offense and he can function at a high level. He's got experience in this league. He's got experience now in our system. The guys around him trust him. We know we could go out and function in a solid way with the possibility to win the game if that was what we needed to do.
Are you having to come up with 2 different game sheets? One if it's Trevor, one if it's...
No, not really. There may be some things that you feature more so if it's one quarterback versus the other, but no, we don't feel like it really affects our offense much.
I like that he has confidence in the possibility that they'll win the game with CJBethard. I don't know. That's not quite the ringing endorsement that I would want for my backup quarterback. There's still a chance we'll win with our backup quarterback. There's still a chance we can score more points than the other team. Do you think the offense will be different? Do you think it is a different call sheet that maybe we'll see tonight on Amazon Prime like we did last Thursday night when we got a good look at Sean Payton's call sheet?
Yeah, I do. I do think it's a different call sheet for CJBethard. Yeah, I don't think it can be, it can't be as aggressive. That's probably what I would think of more than anything. Not that it's going to be totally different, but they might feel that, hey, Trevor can do some things here and make some throws, or we could call this play and, feel comfortable that Trevor can physically do that. Where CJ, I think it's not necessarily like, hey, he can't do everything on the field, but you also have to take that approach a little bit of like, hey, we got to do some things to make him feel comfortable early, get him in a rhythm, Maybe call some of the simpler plays that he ran back in preseason and stuff like that just to get him going, instead of just throwing him out there and doing some of the maybe more advanced stuff that the Jaguars do right away. So I don't think it's going to be like a drastic difference that way. I don't. But I think it's like when a guy like CJBethard comes in, I think it's more like, let's think about a few other run game designs this week. Let's put a few more screens into the receivers and the tight ends and the running back. Those are things that I think will, come about more just to protect CJBethard, maybe play situational football a little bit, maybe play, if it's Trevor Lawrence and we're on the 40-yard line going in and it's 3rd and 12, we might call a play to throw it for 15 yards and get the first down. But with CJBethard, we might run the draw or screen and just get in field goal position, make sure we're, nice and cozy there and knock it in. I think those are the differences in the football game. Nothing too drastic, but I think it just managed different from the sideline from Doug Peterson and Press Taylor.
And I don't have CJBethard's contract in front of me, but you're still in year 3 of the Trevor Lawrence rookie deal. You could justify spending more on your backup quarterback. Nothing against CJBethard, but dig a little deeper and have somebody there that would be able to more fully simulate the starter. Not that there are many guys out there that can play like Trevor Lawrence can. That's why he was the first overall pick in the draft. He's fulfilling his promise. And we talk a lot about this whole, why does everybody focus on the Cowboys? Because they're the Cowboys. Why does nobody talk much about the Jaguars? Because they're the Jaguars. They're going to have to win consistently, get to a Super Bowl, win a Super Bowl to become a team that gets the kind of focus that the Cowboys do. But Trevor Lawrence doesn't get that much attention because, and it's just the way it is. I'm not making the comment. I'm not saying it should be that way. It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
The team is yet to become a national attention, a national draw, and they're in the process of getting there. And if Trevor Lawrence can't play tonight, that's one of the disappointments. This is an opportunity, primetime audience, to watch the Jaguars and to be impressed by what they've done this year. Started with a win, lost 2 in a row, have won 3 straight in impressive fashion, and now they get a chance to get 4 wins in a row tonight with or without Trevor Lawrence on the field. So an opportunity either way to watch the Jaguars, but a big difference if it's the backup. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.